Hello all you teleport loving cosmonauts, as always I am Cosmic, and today we're going to be taking a preview look at Mr. Shifty, an indie top-down action adventure game in development by Team Shifty and being published by Tiny Build Games. Mr. Shifty is essentially Hotline Miami meets part Matrix, part Nightcrawler from the X-Men, and that for me summarises the game absolutely perfectly. You play as Mr. Shifty, who is sent, at least in the preview build, into a corporation's headquarters, and you are trying to steal back a mega plutonium piece, or shard as you will, to stop that corporation from using it to their own evil ends. Now, the game is part stealth, but it is mostly action focused. It is a game that if you get shot at once, you will be instantly dead, so you cannot take any kind of hit. It is very Hotline Miami-esque in that the way that the game works, the way that the levels are designed, the way that the enemies move and are orientated, but instead of Hotline Miami where you're going through with a shotgun or whatever weapon you can find and blasting your way through a level, this is strictly melee combat. Now, the enemies will have guns and they will have a variety of weaponry, and the progression of enemies is quite nice, including the progression of difficulty and mechanics, but you are stuck using your wits and speed to take down enemies. So it's about teleporting all of the time, getting out of the way, moving around people, making sure that you sneak up on people, surprising them, using the environment to your advantage at times with things like explosive barrels. It certainly shares a lot of threads and core design mechanics of that of Hotline Miami, but because it is strictly melee combat based, because you have this teleport ability, because you need to rely on environmental kills as well as, teleporting speed and sometimes stealth, it provides, while a similar experience, also at the same time a unique one. What I love about it even more is that, one, the storyline is absolutely ridiculous and it doesn't take itself seriously at all. Two, you're basically playing as the human version of Nightcrawler, and that in itself is also a hell of a lot of fun. And I like the fact that the core tenements of what made Hotline Miami great, which included level progression, included mechanical progression in terms of difficulty, putting in new enemies, different mechanics throughout as you play, that remains intact in Mr. Shifty, and that is something that is key to the success of this game in the future. One thing that I really liked about it was the fact that you start off with one type of enemy, then you move on to two types of enemy, then you move on to three types of enemy, then you get an environmental hazard thrown in there, then you get an entire puzzle section thrown in there, and then it mixes them all together, and it just continues in this fashion to make levels unique and more difficult as you progress. There are a couple of problems with Mr. Shifty, but it isn't something that is game breaking. Currently in the preview build, there's one main tenement of the core design that is a problem, which is the fact that it is like Hotline Miami, which means that you're either going to love it or you're really going to hate it because of the nature of, the instant kill one hit. It's going to become frustrating, you're going to die a lot, and you're going to have to redo the levels. So if you are one who is lacking in patience, then certainly this might not be the game for you. However, I have to say that overall, it is a fantastic core experience. It is a lot of fun. It is a different take on the genre. It is something that I have to say makes you feel good when you play it. It makes you feel like a badass when you're teleporting through walls, taking down enemies, teleporting back, teleporting behind them, picking up a trident and throwing it, killing several enemies in a line. All of that is available to do in this game, and it really pulls it off very well. I like the fact that the game does not take itself too seriously at all and just randomly puts things in like a trident that you can just throw and kill a load of people, and it's not trying to be too serious. The story is not serious at all. The characters are not serious at all. And it just says, have fun with this. and the core mechanics alone provide that fun factor in its core experience. I was overall very impressed with Mr. Shifty's preview build. I thought not only did it technically run well, it looked great. It wasn't anything, fantastic visually. I thought it could have been more vibrant, there could have been more diversity within the enemies. The actual level design itself, because you were stuck in that building, it was all very samey, but for the most part, it was, there was nothing terrible about the visuals. The audio, again, nothing to write home about. It does the job that you want it to do, but one of the things that I loved about Hotline Miami, that it had this fantastic musical soundtrack, and I really think that Mr. Shifty should probably work on that a little bit to also provide a really great audio experience. I certainly think that fans of Hotline Miami will definitely get a kick out of Mr. Shifty, and I think fans of X-Men will probably definitely get a kick out of Mr. Shifty just for the fact of what the character can actually do. I love the fact that you are really restricted to melee combat, because it makes you approach levels differently than you would in, say, Hotline Miami, whereby you are just looking for the angle of the shot. In Mr. Shifty, you're looking for the angle of the enemy's shot, and you're trying to find a way to take them down, especially larger groups of enemies, with your bare hands without getting killed instantly, which provides a nice tactical edge and a strategic edge to it that, while it isn't massively in depth, it will certainly get you killed several times before you figure it out. It is certainly an indie game to keep your eye on this year, and I'm looking forward to when the game releases so I can review the crap out of it and teleport people and throw them out of windows. And that is my preview of Mr. Shifty. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Let me know what your thoughts are on the game in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button, make sure to subscribe and share the video on social media, and as always, I will see you next time.